love the A7C, but the one thing I don't like is the fact that they only have 2 dials, where all the other Sony models have a 3rd dial at the front. And usually you would have aperture at the front, and then you would have the shutter speed here and the ISO here. But as standard in Sony, you have aperture here, then you have shutter speed here, and you have a separate ISO which you have to go into in this menu here. Now the only problem with that is the fact that I like to judge my exposure with the histogram and also zebras. But the problem is when you go into ISO, you lose that histogram, and then you just have to basically kind of guess, especially if you're shooting in S-Log2 and you're meant to overexpose by 2 stops. It's really annoying having to go, okay, let's check this ISO. Oh, okay, that might be a bit high or not high enough, and then go back and forth. It's really annoying. So I figured out a way to map the ISO to this button here. And what you need to do is you need to go to the menu and you go My Dial Settings, and then the top one here, the control wheel, which is, this is the control wheel. You go into here and you set that to ISO, and then the control dial, which is the control dial here, obviously set that to aperture. Now what you want to do is you want to map a button to turn this feature on, and we're just going to put it on 5. 5 is when you press here, because we're going to sacrifice the ISO because this will turn into the ISO scrolling this wheel here. So we'll hit this and we'll go to menu 14 and toggle My Dial 1. And My Dial 1 is this one here, which we've set, and then you can set 2 and 3. But you only really need to set 1. And then we can go all the way back. You see here when we press this, toggles it up, and now we can adjust the ISO just with the dial, and we can see the histogram at the same time, which is ideal. And then if you want to change your shutter speed, hit that ISO button again, and there we go. The only thing you've got to take into consideration is when you turn the camera off and you turn it back on, by default it will go back to that standard mode, so you will need to hit the ISO button until that menu comes up. So Sony, if you're watching, can you please add in the Mark II of the A7C, please add another dial here, and as a side note, maybe 10-bit colors with 4K, even just up to 30, I'd be happy with that. Yeah, okay, that's it. I hope that helps, and I will see you later.